sets of, actually a couple buckle sets going right now. And this is a 3/4 inch Western buckle set. And in the past I've hand bent the loops around a piece of steel stock, and it's kind of time consuming to get those wrapped around a piece of steel. So I spent one afternoon putting together a loop bender, and I'd like to share with you what I came up with, and I think you might like it. Sure saves a lot of time. And this length is 2 13/16. Each individual bender will require a fitted length, so you'll have to work that out. It only takes a time or two to figure out the length you'll need for your loop bender. And now I've got that centered. I'll take my levers and pull those back, put a pretty good amount of pressure on those, and bend those like that. Now I'll clamp on my rollers. I've got that mark on each side. I know exactly where to slide that to. Just like that. It's pretty quick. I may use these levers on a couple other benders, like for a 1 inch and 1.5 inches. That's the reason I didn't go ahead and drill those out yet. I've got to determine what I want to do there. So now I'm going to close this up on this side like that, and it's just really easy and smooth. Now I'll close this side up just like that, and then now I've got a loop. All I have to do is just tap that off. And that sure saves a lot of time having a loop bender like this. There's probably many uses for a bender like this, something you can build in your shop and save you a lot of time. Okay, here's a look at my loop bender. Open that up like that. I've got my strap cut the length I want. That's 2 13/16. It'll vary on each bender. It's something you'll have to work out for yourself as far as the length. I've got 3/4 inch stock here. These are 3/4 inch loops, and I've got the height. That's 9/16 tall, and I kind of arched the top. I want the top of my loops just slightly arched right here, rather than flat. I think it kind of gives it a neat little dimension, especially if that's got a piece of silver mounted on the top of it, either a flower or some scroll or something. I've got a slot here, and let's see. What this was 3/4 inch stock, and it's about 5/16 of an inch thick. I don't recall where I got that. It seems to be mild steel. But what I did here is I cut 2 little blocks like that, and I actually tigged those together rather than grinding a square that thickness. I just stacked 2 of these together and tacked them together with my TIG welder. Then I arched that top, shaped it up on my belt sander, and then I tacked that here, and then I came back and cut another block right here, and that's what holds my strap down. And another good idea, right before you bend your loop, you can go to your belt sander and kind of knock that edge off so it won't be a sharp edge, so it won't scrape the leather of it on your belt. Anyway, I'm going to drop that right down in there like that, right in the center, and then now it's ready to bend. But I've got my rollers here. This is what I close the loop up on the bottom with. And right now I've got these attached with vice grips. I kind of like this way. I'd originally planned on bolting. That's too slow to bolt that on there. Another idea I have is to put 5/16 inch dowel pins there. Well, not actually dowel pins. It'd be a 5/16 round rod. And what I would like to do there, if I do this, is have this back rod where it is longer than the front rod. Have that where you could pick that up and move that over like that. But that would hold that in place, and you wouldn't need the vice grips when you're closing that. Now that I got you good and confused, but you can piddle with this a little bit, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, now I've got this centered like that, and what I'm going to do is just close that up and just apply a lot of pressure on there. And need to be, you can take that and close that up just a little bit more to make it a little square. I made my bending levers here plenty stout. They're a 1/2 inch thick, 1 inch hot rolled steel, and I bent these out at 55 degrees here at the back. Okay, now I've got the loop bent down. On occasion, I've taken hacksaw and put a mark there like that, and then take the loop out. There's 2 ways to do that loop. If you would like to just cut that off flush and solder a bottom on, that's what I've done here. That's a bent top with a soldered bottom on. That makes it a little cleaner and crisper at the bottom. But the reason I built this bender in the first place is to knock out loops a little faster, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do here. That was just an idea. Okay, now I'm going to I've got a mark on here. I've messed with this a little bit, and know where my mark is right there. Take my grips, clamp this down, that. Check my mark again. Then I'll put this side on, check my mark. And I've got, the way these are made, that's a 1 inch wide but 1/4 inch thick stock. I notched it out a little bit. I put a piece of 5/8 round there. This is about 1.25 inches in length. Then this is a 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch thick stock that I welded across there, so I could just put that up there like that flush. So I'll clamp this down on my mark up here at the front. So now I'll bring this around like that, and I'll change my angle there so you can see this fold in there. Doesn't take very much pressure at all to close that loop up right there on the bottom. Just push that right there, and then once it gets past a certain part, it just glides on. And see, that's real easy. That's nice and clean right there. You can just do one side at a time, not both, because these round pieces of stock kind of meet and touch. Alright, now I'm going to close this other side up. It closed up real pretty right there. Now see, there's just a little bit of gap right there, and on these other loops I've already done, I actually TIG weld those to make it just pretty custom. If you got the extra silver solder, you can use 45% Harris solder to solder that up, and it'll probably flow a little better, make a little smoother seam there than the welding. Either way, you can acetylene weld it, TIG weld it, or silver solder it.